Hello, everyone. My name is Dee Williams, and I am here to bring you the second session of Parent Connect. Here at Head Start and Early Head Start, we know that the most important and first teacher that your child will ever have is you. And one of the most important things that we can do here is to bring support and knowledge and information to you to help you along this journey. I know that whenever I was a young parent, I would have loved to have someone to help me to understand, why is my child doing this? Why won't they do this? And so we would just like to help you a little bit. We know that parenting is very, very, very hard. And then you throw a pandemic into the middle of it, and makes it even more difficult. And so in this really difficult time, we just would like to bring you some information and some knowledge to help you along the way. And so here we go. So at Head Start and Early Head Start, what we use here to help with teaching children how to handle things and other social emotional aspects is conscious discipline. So what is conscious discipline, you may say? Conscious discipline is an evidence-based program that helps us to understand our children's brain state and the relationship between that and how we can teach them or discipline. Being conscious of the whys and hows, that helps us to be intentional with how we respond to a child. This is what we use in our classrooms at Head Start and Early Head Start to help support that social and emotional development of our children. The second thing we're going to talk about today is going to be the brain and becoming brain smart, understanding the brain-body connection. We're going to go into that. We're also going to talk about the second skill of conscious discipline, and that is assertiveness. Assertiveness is setting limits respectfully. And the third thing we're going to talk about today is the power of attention. Each skill of conscious discipline has a power that goes along with it. And with the skill of assertiveness comes the power of attention. And with that power of attention, we understand that what we focus on, we are going to get more of. So we want to focus on what we want more of. And so I'm going to begin the session with asking you a few questions and asking you if you've ever asked yourself these. How can I get my child to stop hitting? Or, how do I get my child to stop whining? Or maybe, I know that my child loves to learn, but all the why questions are driving me nuts. Why does she have to ask so many questions? And I think we may have all asked ourselves this one. Why won't they just do what I tell them to? So the first thing we're going to talk about in answering these questions and hopefully understanding it a little better is the brain and becoming brain smart, understanding that brain and body connection. And so your brain has three different sections that we're going to talk about today. The bottom portion of your brain is called the brainstem. And each one of our areas in our brain represents a different state. And the brainstem, which is at the very base of your brain, that represents the survival state. This is where, whenever you are in the state, you are not feeling safe. You feel threatened. And in this state, we will see a lot of physical reactions. This is when our fight, flight, or freeze responses are heightened and really kick into gear. And so it may look like hitting or kicking or hiding or surrendering, physical reactions from your child. And your child is telling you that they do not feel safe. They cannot think clearly because they do not feel safe. Now you may say, Dee, I bring safety to my child. My child is completely safe. They are in a safe environment. There is nothing not safe about the scenario that I'm telling you. They are just throwing a fit because they cannot get their way. Well, in essence, if you think about it, whenever they are in that state, they are feeling not safe because maybe they don't feel in control of the situation and they don't understand that feeling. And so they are down in that survival state. And all you see is the physical. They don't particularly form words in the state because their brain is not able to do that. And so when you see them, like I said, in the survival state, in the brainstem, that base part of their brain, you're going to see physical reactions, and you're going to know they are needing the question, am I safe, answered. So what do we need to provide to them in this state? We need to provide safety. We need to let them know, first and foremost, you are safe. Help them to breathe. Breathe yourself. Anytime that you have a child that is in some form or fashion of this, you yourself need to take some deep breaths. This puts a pause between the stimulus and your response. It helps you to think clearly and to be able to respond to your child. So take those 3 deep breaths. Then go to your child and say, you are safe. Breathe with me. You can handle this. Coach them through this process. This is the survival state. So the second state is the emotional state. This portion of your brain is called the limbic system, and it sits right on top of your brain stem. And so in this state, the emotional state, they are able to talk. They are able to put words together. However, the way that you can tell that they're in their emotional state is you're going to hear a lot of emotional talk. You're going to hear back talk. You're going to hear sass. You're going to hear a yelling of words that you may not want to hear. You're going to see a lot of crying, verbal reactions. In the emotional state, the way you'll know that they are there is the mouth will be moving and you will be hearing it. In this state, your child is asking themselves, am I loved? They are not feeling loved. You are probably producing all types of ways to show them this, but in that instance, for whatever reason, they are needing this confirmed to them. That message of, am I loved? And you can do this through connection. Provide that connection to them. Let them know, I am here with you. I am going to help you through this. Confirm that to them, that they are loved. This is the emotional state. The last state we're going to talk about is the executive state. That's at the very top in front of your brain. It's the prefrontal lobe. This is where all of the problem solving skills are. When we move up to this part of our brain, the higher center, the highest center, this is where we can think. This is where we can problem solve. This is where wisdom and brilliance happen. This is where your child, if they are in this state of mind, they are asking themselves, what can I learn? And as an adult, we know that's where we want to be. And that is where our child, where we want them to be, is to be able to problem solve, to be able to learn. And so what we're teaching them is how to go from that bottom portion of their brain in the survival state and move them up to the executive state. Or if they come in their emotional state, how to move them up to that executive state so that they can problem solve. They can think their way through it. That wisdom and that brilliance can happen. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and see if you can recognize what brain state the child would be in. So let's talk about Maria. Maria screams, I hate you. So what brain state do you think that she is in? Do you think that she's down in the brain stem in the survival state? Do you think she's in that emotional state? Or do you think that she's in that top portion, the executive state? Are the actions verbal or are they physical? They're verbal. She's telling you that she hates you. That's a verbal. So what brain state is that? Verbal always tells you that they are in their emotional state. And so what question is she asking herself? What is she needing to have answered? She's asking herself, am I loved? And how can you answer this question to her? In the form of connection. Now we have Jacob, and Jacob hits his brother. Is that an action verbal or physical? That is a physical action. So that's telling us what brain state is he in. He's in the brainstem. He is in that survival state. He is showing you a physical action. He is fighting. So what is he needing to have answered? He is asking you the question, am I safe? I do not feel safe. And it is your job to provide that safety to him, that reassurance to him. You are safe. Keep breathing. You can handle this. I am here to help you. You are safe. We're going to figure this thing out. You are safe. So, the second part of what we're going to talk about today is the skill of assertiveness. And the skill of assertiveness is all about setting limits respectfully. So this is one of the skills that can be used when you recognize that a child is in that survival state. They are not feeling safe. After you can get them to calm, you breathe with them, tell them that they are safe, keep breathing, they can handle it. We provide assertiveness. Assertiveness is clear communication. It lets the child know exactly what they need to do in a clear way with a voice of no doubt. And so you have your child, they are calm now, but we still need to teach them what we're wanting them to do. So an important part of this voice of no doubt, this clear way of letting them know what you need them to do is the tone you use. Because as we all know, we can say the same exact thing, but in different tones, and it will come across completely different. So as an adult, I may look at someone and I may say, hey, Sherry, you got a haircut. Or I could go to them and say, Sherry, you got a haircut. Or you could go to them and say, oh, Sherry, oh, you got a haircut. I am saying the same exact words, but the tone makes it come across in totally different ways. So that's for an adult, but for a child, it may look like this. You may want to have your child to put their Kindle down and get ready for supper. And so it may sound like this. Are you ready to put that Kindle down and come eat supper? That is called a passive tone, and you are giving the child the choice. And chances are they're going to tell you no. Here's another way that you can use a tone. This is called a aggressive tone. I am sick of you ignoring me. Get off that Kindle right now and go eat your supper. That is aggressive. And more often than not, that aggressive, threatening tone is going to send them straight to their survival state. It would me. So let's try this tone. Morgan, it is time to eat supper. Put your Kindle on the table right here and walk with me to the table. That is an assertive tone. Clear expectations with an assertive tone and voice of no doubt. You are saying their name, you're telling them what you want them to do and how you want them to do it with no question. Now keep in mind that our intention is for the children to be successful. We can say the right words, but if our intent is to punish that child for being bad, this will shine through in our body language and tone. So breathe deeply to help focus every cell in your body on teaching and helping children to be successful with this new skill. One of the ways that we provide this in the classroom is through visuals. Visuals never get tired of telling children what to do. Our children's brains do not necessarily think in words. They actually think in pictures. So you can provide a visual, and we have actually given you one in the information that you would have received from your FRS. If you did not receive that, just reach out to them. They would be happy to give that to you. We have provided you with a visual for a bedtime routine. And so this helps in those times where your child may be in that emotional state, or they may be in that survival state. They may be crying, they don't want to go to bed, or they may be kicking because they don't feel safe, because they don't feel in control of when they get to go to bed. And so a visual actually gives them an idea of what to do, the steps to take. And so we are going to provide that to them so they will have directions on what you expect, clear expectations on what they need to do and the steps in which to take them. And so, for instance, on your visual, if you'll pull that out, you will see a visual daily schedule. And as I said, visual daily schedules create predictability and safety for children, and it reduces conflict and increases cooperation. So there's instructions that come along with this that explain it to you and how to use it. And so we hope that can be a great tool for you. And again, if you did not receive that information, go ahead and reach out to your FRS or the person, your teacher in your classroom, and they would be happy to provide that to you. Now, we are going to go to our last tip for the day, and that is going to be the power of attention, focusing on what you want more of. So listen to how these next statements sound and feel. Quit it. Quit hitting. Don't hit. Stop hitting your brother. Why are you hitting? Quit hitting him. Where was the focus? Hitting. What are we drawing attention to? Hitting. What word is stuck in that child's brain? Hitting. So what do you think we're going to get more of? Hitting. A young child's brain is unable to consistently understand the not part of do not. So many times because of them simply hearing, don't touch, don't yell, don't hit. Often results with them simply hearing, touch, yell, hit. What you focus on, you will get more of. Instead of telling the child what you want them, what you don't want them to do, focus on what you want them to do. Instead of saying, quit hitting, don't hit, instead try using this. Keep your hands to yourself. Put your hands in your lap, or you may put your hands on your side. Instead of saying, stop yelling. Why are you yelling? Stop yelling. I am tired of all the yelling. First, take a deep breath, and then tell your children, your voice, match it to mine. Match your voice to mine. Make your voice sound like this. Use an inside voice. Where's the focus? Lastly today, I wanted to go over really quick some of the structures that you may have received for this session. So, in your folders, you should have received something that looks like this. Making sure that it's on there, that you can see it. It's a paper that actually is called Assertiveness and the Power of Attention. And you're going to see it and recognize it because it's going to have a teddy bear right here on the top, and then it'll have a balloon on this side, and then of course it will have the conscious discipline emblem on the top. And so really quick, we're going to go over the breathing technique that is listed on there, and that is the balloon. And so a lot of your children will know this, and they will love that you can do it with them. So how this goes is it's a fun way that we teach our children to breathe without just saying breathe with me. Sometimes we need that engaging, fun way to do that, and it helps them and motivates them to do it. And so the balloon is, you put your hands, you interlace them, and you put them on top of your head. And the focus is, again, to get your child to inhale, breathe in through their nose and out through their mouth. And we always tell the children in the classroom to do it 3 times. And remember, this is going to put a pause between the stimulus and the response. It's going to help them to do that. And in doing it in these fun ways, this just reinforces it in those hard times. And so we're going to interlace our fingers. We're going to put them on the top of our head. We're going to breathe in through our nose, and we're going to do it 3 times, like we're blowing up a balloon. So here we go. And you're way up here, and then the fun part about it is you get to pop the balloon, and then you're going to blow out. We're going to do that 3 times. Here we go. Pop. Last time. And if your children are anything like mine in the classroom, they like to spit on that last time. So here we go. Pop. They love the balloon. Love it. And like I said, that just motivates them So learning that breathing skill in that fun time, so that whenever it's that hard time, it'll register in their brain and they will understand what you're wanting them to do. So that is the balloon. And our next thing we're going to talk about on your paper is actually this month's love ritual. And a love ritual is a way that you can connect with your child. And connection equals cooperation. And so try to do these periodically through the day. At nighttime, before you put them to bed, do a love ritual with them, some kind of connection. A love ritual and a connection involves 4 different components. We talked about this last month in that session, but I will reiterate it. Connection involves eye contact, touch, presence, that you're there in the moment, and a playful situation. And so just those short little times with your child is really going to mean a lot to them. This can be done through something simple. You probably had it done as a child and didn't even realize it until I can tell you now what that is. It's something like this little piggy went to market. Just that simple little finger play, or the itsy bitsy spider, or patty cake, playing patty pat cake with your child. You probably have done that. Or peekaboo. That's a way that you can connect with your child. That's a love ritual. And so this month is called Round and Round the Garden. And I will tell you, I will warn you that after you do it with your child one time, they are going to ask you to do it over and over and over and over. And you're going to enjoy that time with them. So how it goes is you have them take their hand and they put it in yours like this. They put their palm on top of your palm. You simply take your finger and you put it in the center of their hand. And you're going to make a circle like this. And then you're going to simply say, round and round the garden goes the teddy bear. And then you're going to move your hand up their arm and you're going to say, 1 touch, 2 touch, tickles under there. And they're going to laugh and you're going to feel that joy and that connection with them. And then they're going to say, do it again, do it again, do it again. And you're going to enjoy that. You really, really are. And so I'm going to do that one more time. And the instructions are on your paper. You're going to take their hand, you're going to put it in your palm, you're going to take your finger, or you could take some fun little toy. Make it interesting. You can put it on their hand, and you're going to make a circle, and you're going to say, round and round the garden goes the teddy bear. 1 touch, 2 touch, tickles under there. That's round and round the garden. So that's your love ritual. And your breathing technique was the balloon. And so this has got some great information, just kind of summarizes what I talked to you about today. The back has a visual routine on the bottom. And again, if you didn't have this or you didn't receive this from your FRS or your teacher, just let them know and they will get you a set of this. So here is your parent handout. We also provided you, like we talked earlier, about a visual daily schedule. It gives you instructions. It has several different things that you can put on your visual daily schedule that you can cut out. And so we provided you with that. Several different activities just to help provide structure and clarity for your child so that whenever they say, when is supper, when is supper, when is supper, when are we going to eat? And you can go over to this schedule and you can say, we've done this and then we've done this. We're going to do this and then it's going to be time for us to eat. Pictures never get tired of telling children what to do. So these visual daily schedules are great. We use these in the classroom a lot. So we provided you with those. And then we also gave you this fun game, and it's talking about tone. What's my tone game? And we went over this a little bit in our session today. I had asked you, I'd given you a phrase, and I'd used different tones of my voices, and then you could hear the difference. And so this is just a fun little game that you can look at that helps you recognize what that tone is. And remember, we're shooting for assertiveness, that tone of no doubt, clarity. So that's in there. And I think that is all that I have for you today. And so if you have any questions at all about any of this, if anything is just not clear to you, if you have anything that you want to elaborate with your teacher or your FRS on, you have questions, concerns, you want to know more about it, we would love to help you in this area. And so just reach out to your FRS, your teacher, and they can get you more information about a certain topic that we talked about today. We are here for you. That is our goal, is to help you with anything that you may need in this area. And so until next time, We wish you well.